Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. My name is Dwynn, and today I am combining my weekly Dollar Tree challenge item tutorial with Christmas in July by creating 2 Christmas ornaments and a Christmas decor piece using the tin round and many other supplies from the Dollar Tree. These projects were so much fun to create, and I hope you will become intrigued and inspired and motivated to run to Dollar Tree to pick up your tin rounds so you too may create these awesome projects. Welcome to my channel today, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the tutorials, and as well if you would share my tutorials with others, and leave me your comments because I love receiving them. Okay, let me show you how I created these 3 projects from the tin round from the Dollar Tree. For project number 1, we're going to be creating a silver ornament with this tin round, which is 6 inches in diameter. I have here some Rust-Oleum glitter spray paint. Absolutely love this spray paint. It goes on beautifully and it creates a beautiful glittery finish, a very fine glitter. Now I have here a page of snowflake designs that I had purchased at Hobby Lobby last holiday season. I love that one, but it was a little too big for that tin round, so I'm going to be choosing another one of those snowflakes. These are actually window decals, but you could use rub-on transfers or stencils if you wanted to decorate the interior of that tin round in any way that you like. So I'm showing you here the little tinsely kind of twine, I guess you could call it, for that I'm going to use for the hanger. And then I'm also going to create a bow for the top of the ornament. And I have here a Celebrate ribbon. However, I know they have this very same ribbon at Hobby Lobby, but use whatever ribbons are conducive to the piece that you're using in accordance to what you place in the center. For me, I'm sticking with the silver and white theme. And I have there 2 silver ribbons as well. I have here some little wood snowflakes. I'm going to be spray painting a snowflake with that silver glitter spray paint. And I'm going to place that right in the center of the bow that I'm going to be creating for the top of the ornament. That ribbon was, I believe, 5/8 inch wide. And then the other 2 silver ribbons that I use, those were very narrow. I'm not certain, maybe 1/4 of an inch, very narrow ribbons. And I have there some faux snow, which I purchased at the Dollar Tree. Love, love, love their faux snow. When it comes out at Christmas time, be sure to grab some. You are going to love it. As opposed to other craft stores, I love Dollar Tree faux snow, and I keep it in a little pop-up container that I purchased at the Crafter Square section. I'm going to start by creating this bow for the top of my piece. I'm going to leave about a 5-inch tail, and I'm going to do the standard method that I use: fold over, scrunch it in the center, pinch it, twist the ribbon to have the right side up, fold it over. The length of those loops is about 4 inches. Twist my ribbon so the right side is up, pinch it in the center, and I'm going to create 4 loops, 2 loops on each side. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner to secure those loops, and I'm going to cut off the tail to be equal to the other tail, which is around 5 inches. Now I do trim that up a bit in the end, but I wanted to do a little bit of a ripple of the tails on the sides of the ornament. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a bit. So now I'm going to take my 2 other silver ribbons. Each of those are a little bit different from one another. One is a silver sparkly, kind of glittery ribbon. The other is more of a silver ribbon with a sheen. And you can see those are narrow. Now I'm just going to do my fold over method. I call it my figure 8 bows, but I'm actually just creating a figure 8 with the loops of my bow. So I just fold them over and I create 2 figure 8s. You may have a method of creating small bows that you like as well. You know, feel free to use your method. I just like this particular method for any type of narrow ribbon that does not have wire. You just want to make sure that the right side of your ribbon is facing up and your tails as well. So I just take a little clip, one of my Dollar Tree clips that I get at Crafter's Square, just to hold the center of that bow while I create the top layer. So as you can see, I'm forming a figure 8. I start with my ribbon in my hand with the tail between my 2 fingers, and I always make sure before I start my figure 8 that the right side of my ribbon is facing up, like so. And if you do it, and if you start out like that, you will end up with all of your ribbons facing the right direction if you do the figure 8, which I'm showing you there. As long as your ribbon, you start out with it face up, after you do form your loops, all of your loops will be facing up as well as your tail. I hope that made sense. This isn't a figure 8 bow tutorial, but I'm just trying to explain what it is that I do with my figure 8 bows. So I'm going to take those 2 silver bows, place them right on top of the white bow. That white ribbon is so pretty because it has like a glittery sheen to it, and it's just perfect for this ornament. Now I'm not going to put a center to that bow. I'm going to leave that just like it is, but I'm going to take a little pipe cleaner, wrap it around there, twist it in the back, and I can trim off the tails of that pipe cleaner because I'm going to be gluing this to the top of that ornament, so I don't need any tails to the pipe cleaner. And I'll show you later that I'm going to take that glittery snowflake and put it right in the center of that bow, and it's going to look so pretty. Now, if you decide to use something else in the center of this tin round, just choose something to put in the center of the bow, maybe a jingle bell, or maybe a little red ornament, or just whatever coordinates well with whatever you decide to place in the center of your tin round. So I just put up my little tinsely kind of twine or garland, ribbon, I'm not sure what to call it. It's a very sparkly, tinsely, like a ribbon, I guess we'll call it, since I seem to be at loss for words. Okay, so then I just take a little bit of hot glue to secure that hanger on there. All right, so now I am going to take a piece of white, glittery, shimmery scrapbook paper. I get this scrapbook paper at Hobby Lobby, and it's in this section with the individual sheets. Now, this is a very heavy scrapbook paper, and it goes just beautifully for this ornament. Now, if you didn't want to purchase scrapbook paper, you could do white paint and then put a layer of Mod Podge and then cover that with that very fine, ultra fine glitter. So I'm using scrapbook paper, but there are alternatives, as I just mentioned. So I'm going to be placing that scrapbook paper in the middle. I just used Aleene's Tacky Glue because that scrapbook paper is very heavy and there's no risk of having any bubbles or rippling. So I just used Tacky Glue. So now I have pulled off my snowflake from the backing. And you can see when I held it in my hand that obviously that was intended to be a window decal, but we're going to make it an ornament decal, I guess you could say. So I'm going to put a layer of Mod Podge all over there because I'm going to need for this to stick on there. And being that it's just a window cling, it doesn't have any sticky backing. So I'm going to align my snowflake so that it is straight in alignment with the hanger. And I just have to adjust the placement a little bit. Then I'm going to go around and press that down firmly because I'm counting on my Mod Podge to adhere that to that scrapbook paper. And it does ultimately do that very well. But I do need to take my finger, being that this is a window cling, and just go around all of the aspects of that snowflake and press it down. And then I did take another layer of Mod Podge and put that right over the top of that just to seal the edges. And there was no problem with then being able to, once that Mod Podge was dry, to be able to again see the little ultra fine glittery finish on that scrapbook paper. And that's a very, very pretty snowflake with a beautiful, beautiful snowflake design. Okay, so it's coming along very well. Now, I decided I wanted to try and add a little bit of, just a little bit of that ultra-fine white glitter that I had in the little jars that I showed you to that snowflake. And so I went around not going over all of the lines of that snowflake, but just hitting highlighted areas, the main areas. And then I just took my ultra fine glitter and I sprinkled it over those areas where I put the Mod Podge. Now, it didn't make that much of a difference, but I don't know. I was just experimenting. I thought that I might get a little bit more of a sparkly sheen to the snowflake, but honestly, it didn't really make that much difference. So once it dries, though, you can see it a little bit on there. I like a lot of detail to my pieces, as if you're following my channel, you all know this by now, but so I always try a little bit of extra, a little something on a lot of my pieces. And speaking of something, that's what I'm doing now. I took my sponge applicator and more Mod Podge, and I just blotted or dabbed on that Mod Podge on the inner rim of that silver tin. And I'm adding the look of snow around the interior of that piece. And so I went all the way around with the Mod Podge and I sprinkled that fine snow from the Dollar Tree. And I love the way it turned out. Now I did 2 different snowflakes and I'm picking my favorite one. Look how pretty that is on that bow. I love adding little ornamental pieces on bows, especially during the Christmas season. So I put some hot glue on there, proceeded to burn my fingers when I did it. Oh, there's little holes in that snowflake. That hot glue just went right through. But I concealed it. You didn't even see me jump. I guess I'm so used to hot glue burns to so many years of crafting. Okay, so now I am going to take that beautiful bow with the silver snowflake, and I am going to put that right at the top, centered in between the 2 holes of the hanger. Firstly, I'm going to take some Aleene's tacky glue and put that right on the very top. I'm also going to use a little bit of hot glue. Now, I've mentioned this in my previous video. I don't store my ornaments in the hot attic, but I know there are a lot of people who do. So if you do that, I'm going to caution you to use tacky glue, not just hot glue, because you'll come back probably next Christmas and you're going to see that things have fallen off because the glue gets hot and it melts, and it's just not kind to Christmas decor to be in a hot attic. So you really have to prepare for that by using a good tacky glue. Now I'm going to take the tails of my white wired ribbon and I'm going to ripple it a little bit down the sides of that ornament. I think this is a very pretty look. And then the very tips of my ribbon, which by the way, I angled the ends of my tails, and I just turn up the tips for a nice little finishing touch. Look how pretty this is. I did trim up my tails to the desired, if I could speak, length that I wanted them. And I think this is going to just look so sparkly and pretty on a Christmas tree. And I love bigger ornaments on a Christmas tree. Anything over 6 foot looks beautiful. The taller the tree, the more fabulous they look. Okay, next up, we're going to spray paint this tin white with Rust-Oleum spray paint. I am going to be making a snowman ornament. Now I'm going to give you a couple of options on how you can create this snowman. You can use wood rounds. Maybe you have a selection of them in your craft stash. The biggest one is 2 inches. That would be the bottom of the snowman. The next one, I believe, is 1.5 inches. And then the head is around 1.25 inches. Now, you can glue all of those together to create your snowman. I like, if I were doing it this way, I'm actually going to show you another way to do it, which is the way I ultimately did my snowman. But I would put a couple of those wood rounds together just so it's a little bit thicker. And you could do that with a Gorilla wood glue, or any tacky glue would be fine as well. But these will fit nicely with those dimensions, which, by the way, I'll put that in the description box. And I also have a couple of extra little circles that I'm going to place on the back of the snowman so I can elevate that snowman off of the tin a bit, just to give it some dimension. I went outside and I found some little twigs, something that looked like arms of a snowman with the little end finger. Is that fingers? I guess it's the fingers of the snowman. And then I have some orange felt there. I ended up cutting my own nose, but you could use orange felt. Maybe put a couple of pieces together, cut out a nose. And I have here a piece of a sock, which I shared in my last video. At Christmas time, I go to the children's department and I buy socks, Christmas socks. And I use them for stocking hats and scarves and whatever. And you can also use fabric, which I actually ended up doing too myself, but I'll show you all of that. Here I have a jar of black peppercorns. Did you know that these make great embellishments for a snowman? Yes, they do. And here's that snow again. Love, love, love. The Crafter's Square snow. It comes in a little kind of a bag, a little baggy type of container. And I put mine in that pop-up container from Crafter's Square. I have there some little tinsely pom-poms that I'm going to be using for as snowballs. Now, for the back of my ornaments, I had two different scrapbook papers. This one had kind of this design on it. I thought maybe that could look like clouds. But then again, it was kind of yellowish and I really wasn't sure. It came in a book of scrapbook papers. But I also had another one, a nice blue color to look like the sky with little polka dots on it. I have there some Mod Podge, a paper bowl, and a sponge applicator. And of course, a bow is going to go on top of this ornament. Now, this is a nice wired ribbon, one of my favorites from Hobby Lobby. And I have a red ribbon here with little white snowflakes, which I thought would be appropriate for the bow. The regular crafting tools, and of course, Aleene's Tacky Glue, hot glue gun, scissors. So what I'm going to do is sketch out a snowman because I have this very thin craft wood. You can pick that up at Hobby Lobby if you are interested in the wood, and I'm going to show it to you here in a minute. It comes in little squares, very, very lightweight wood that you can actually cut with scissors. So I measured out the approximate height of my snowman, and I just took my pencil and drew that out. And I'm just going to cut that out, and that's going to be my pattern. I'm not going to use the wood circles. I'm going to create my own snowman out of that wood, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. And this is it. It's very, very thin. You can cut it with scissors. I believe it's called balsa wood. I'm going to make sure what it's called, and I'll put it in the description box, okay? I'm not sure at the exact moment. But as you can see, you can cut it with scissors. And what the beauty of that is that you could create any kind of shape that you want and cut it out. And then you will have a nice, firm, almost like a wood slice that you would purchase in a particular shape, like the wood rounds. But only I'm doing mine as a snowman. So I cut that out, and then I just took my little sanding block from the Dollar Tree, and I just smoothed out the edges. I do this sometimes, especially if I want something in a particular shape that I can't seem to find anywhere. But I wanted my snowman to be a particular shape, so that's why I did that. So I thought, okay, I was going to try this scrapbook paper, thinking maybe that looks a little bit like clouds, but I would really wanted it to be white clouds. So I cut it out, but guess what? I didn't end up using it. I ended up using the other one, the blue with the very muted, soft white polka dots. I thought that would be cute because it would kind of look like snow. This scrapbook paper also has white polka dots, but this one didn't turn out to be exactly what I wanted. And the other one that I chose, the other scrapbook paper, was a little bit stiffer, and I actually like that as well. So that's going to go right down in the center of my tin, and that's going to be serve as the sky. So I'm going to go ahead and make my bow, and I'm going to make it exactly like I made the other bow for my first ornament, folding over my loops, pinching it in the center, around 4 inches in length, fold it over, pinch it, holding it firmly in the center with my thumb and index finger, twist my ribbon so I always have the right side up. This ribbon has a really pretty shimmer to it. Absolutely love this ribbon. Okay, 4 loops, 2 loops on each side. I'll take a little pipe cleaner, cut off my tails around the same length as the other one, around 5 inches. And I put a pipe cleaner around that. And again, I'm going to be rippling those tails around the side of the ornament. So I wanted to leave the tails around 5 inches. And this is a nice shimmery, sparkly ribbon. Remember, I start my figure 8 bows with the ribbon facing up. And then I just fold my loops in the shape of an 8. And I do 2 figure 8 loops. Pinch it in the center. And I think I put a clip on there. Yes, I did. That's an easy way to hold it until you're ready to apply it to your bow. Rather than to use pipe cleaners, it's easier that way. When you're working with narrow ribbons with no wires, it's easy to do that. And another figure 8 bow with 2 figure 8s, starting with my ribbon facing the right side toward me. And if you do fold over your loops like I just did, you will end up with all of your ribbons facing the correct way. So I'm going to apply one on top of the other, and then that on top of the base, which is that pretty shimmery wired ribbon. Just twist it in the back, and again I can cut those off in the back. Now for the center of this bow, I'm going to take a little piece of that red ribbon with the white snowflakes, and I'm going to just wrap it around the center of that bow to finish that off. I didn't put anything in the center of that bow. I just finished it off with that little piece of ribbon, which looks very pretty going down the center. And I was going to show you how I did that, but I realized my hot glue gun wasn't plugged in. But easy enough, just put a dab of hot glue on the back. Press one end of your ribbon down and then wrap it around the entire bow. All right, so I have my snowman. Now I am going to make a little bit of a textured paint here, just so my snowman looks like he has a little bit of texture. So I'm going to put a blob of my Waverly Snow White chalk paint and on my plate, and then I'm going to take some baking soda, and I'm going to do about a mixture of half and half, and I'm just going to mix that together so that I have kind of a pasty chalk paint. Now, one other thing I'm going to do after I get this all mixed up is I'm going to take just a little bit of that white mixture, and I'm going to put it off to the side, and I'm going to create a mixture that's a little bit of a grayish color, because I want to put a little bit of kind of definition or shadowing lines on my snowman. So I put just a tiniest dab of black acrylic paint, and I'm just going to mix it with my white and create that little bit of gray paint that I need. And I'll show you how and what I'm talking about as far as that little bit of definition to my snowman. So I kept 2 paintbrushes, one for the gray and then one for the white. I poured out way too much baking soda, but that's no problem. I could just put that back in the box. Now, firstly, I'm just going to cover my snowman on the sides. By the way, you could cut out a snowman making a template just like I did, tracing around it on heavy cardboard. You could do that. Now, if you do that, be sure that you take your mixture and dab it on the sides. If you use cardboard, then that will just fill in that little bit of space where cardboard has that little corrugated look on the sides. You could just fill that in with that heavy textured paint, because it's very like pasty. It's thick. So, okay, so after I cover all the sides and the front, then I just kind of go over it, just kind of stippling it, just so I get like some little peaks and points, just to give it some texture. And that's what I'm doing here. that sped up. I really don't do it that fast. Okay, so now I'm going to take my gray and watch what I do with this. I'm just kind of giving that snowman a little bit of definition. Quite simply by just going around the body or the bottom of the snowman. Now remember, if you get too heavy-handed with your gray, no problem, because you still have your white there on the plate and you have your white paintbrush. So you can go over any areas and blend however you need to. So I put a little bit of gray around the sides of the head and the bottom. Now you're just going to see me, I got a little heavy-handed there. So I'm going to come back in, see what I'm doing? And then I just blend the colors. Now you could do this as well if you use the wood slices, the round wood slices. You could do this as well on those. And if you use cardboard, you could do the same thing. But you want to do your blending with the gray while the white paint is still wet. And you'll see after you finish this part that it does make a difference rather than to have it just a flat white. Now I'm outlining that middle part of the snowman there, a little bit around the head. But you see how it adds a little bit of definition or depth to your snowman? Okay, so I'm just letting that dry. Now I took my scissors and I cut out a little carrot out of wood. I want to say it's about maybe an inch long. Now I'm going to be painting that carrot with some orange paint that I had in my paint stash. And I'm showing you here, if you did those white with the wood rounds, that's what it would look like. I don't have the gray shading on there, but you can imagine how to do that. But see, that fits very nicely. And again, I'll put the dimensions of those circles in the description box, as well as anything else that I use that you would need any particular information on. Now that's the felt nose that you can definitely use that. If you wanted to stiffen up that nose, you could put a little bit of Mod Podge on there, you know. That would stiffen it up so it would stand up very straight. Now I happen to have some plaid fabric in my fabric stash. So I decided I wanted a plaid scarf rather than a striped one. So I'm just going to cut out my fabric, fold it over, take some tacky glue, glue that together so that all sides of my scarf are the right side, if that makes any sense. You see how the wrong side of that fabric is white? I don't want that to show. So that's why I'm folding it over. I'm using a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue. And I'm just going to create the scarf. Now, after I get the scarf on my snowman, I do fringe the edges with my scissors. So now my snowman's going to have a red plaid scarf. Okay, so now I'm going to do the eyes and the mouth. Now, my snowman, this is the way I like to do mine, is I want it to look like that the snowman is looking up. So I don't want the eyes open rounded. I want it to be more like the snowman has his eyes closed and he's looking up. And you're going to see I'm putting the arms of my snowman, raising the arms up. And it's kind of like imagining that the snowman is outside and it's snowing And the snowman is raising its arms up with joy as the snow falls on its face. Now, that takes a lot of imagination, right? But that's the look I'm going for, like the snowman. As you can see, he's so happy. Okay, so I put the mouth on. I drew it on, actually, with a pencil. And I painted the eyes with a very fine tip paintbrush with black acrylic paint. I glued on my nose. I put a little bit of white snow on the carrot with my paintbrush. And now I'm going to take my little arms and I'm going to glue those to the snowman. I'm also glued my little peppercorns to the snowman. Now, when you place these, if you want that same look, you bring them in a little bit on the body, the section of the snowman in the middle. And then you just point them in the direction upward. That makes sense. All right, so everything's dry. I just wrapped my scarf around the neck of my snowman. I did fold that scarf in half so it would fit easier around the neck. And then I folded over the scarf. And I'm just going to glue that. Glue that scarf down. And then I'm going to take my scissors and create fringes on the bottom of the scarf. My nose just fell off. See, this is what happens when you don't let things dry. You get over anxious as a crafter and things fall off. Okay, so I'm going to create my hanger. And this time I'm going to use ribbon. And I'm going to use this pretty red ribbon with the white snowflakes very appropriately. And I'm just going to poke it through the holes in that tin and create a knot. And then put a little dab of hot glue to secure that knot right there. And I trim off any of the excess ribbon. Now again, when you place your snowman on here, be sure that you pay attention to your hanger because it's going to need to be centered on your tin round. And there's my little dab of glue. And of course that ribbon, or that bow is going to go at the top. And it's going to look so pretty up there at the top of that ornament. It's coming along, looking good so far. Okay, I did something here that I really loved the effect of this. I put a thin layer of Mod Podge on top of my scrapbook paper. I took my ultra fine white glitter and I shook the glitter or tapped the glitter over the Mod Podge. Oh, I love what this did for the ornament. It looked so shimmery like snow. It was such a good decision to do that. I didn't want to use the faux snow because it's a little bit too chunky for the background. I didn't want to take away from the snowman with the big chunks of faux snow, but this turned out so pretty. The effect is just beautiful. Once that dries, it's so pretty. Okay, there's my very cute snowman. Do you see how the gray shading made a difference on there? Is he so cute or what? I love him. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the fringes. On both of the ends of that scarf. Oh, he looks so cute. Okay, now I didn't mention this at the onset of this project number 2, but I used a little bit of batting. It comes in a bag. It's like what you stuff pillows with. But you don't have to have batting. You could use a cotton ball and just pull the cotton. I'm just going to create a little bed of snow where I'm going to place my snowman. This was kind of an afterthought. I hadn't even thought about doing this in the beginning. But, you know, sometimes when you get crafting, all the ideas start to flourish. And so that's what happened here. So I'm just pulling my batting and forming like a layer of snow there. And then I'm just going to take my hot glue gun. I glue it right to the inner rim of that tin round, as well as the bottom. Just enough to keep that placed where I want it to be. And I have that all placed there. I'm going to do one more thing. Okay, so I just took my foam brush and I just dabbed it on the batting. Now you can do the same thing if you use a cotton ball. Just a little bit of dabbing of Mod Podge on there. Now guess what I'm going to do? I guess you probably already know the answer. I'm going to take my faux snow and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the batting to look like snow. I keep a box handy, as you can see. Now, because I'm mixing my glitter and my snow together, I won't be able to salvage any of it, but normally I do, salvage the excess and put it back in the glitter jar, but this time wasn't on my mind at the moment, so I didn't do it. So I'm see how it's nice to have that little container. You could just kind of shake things from it. I love those. Okay, now that's going to dry and be very shimmery like snow. I shake off the excess. Coming along so cute. And I am going to I didn't use the white circles, so I'm just going to use them now and put them on the back of my snowman because I want my snowman to be a little bit elevated off of that tin. This gives the piece a little bit of dimension. So I just put the bigger circle there and then the next biggest on the back with some glue, hot glue. And now I'm going to glue that right to the tin. So I'm going to push my snowman down into the snow. Make sure it's centered and straight. I love it. So cute. Okay, now I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to take my little tinsely pom-poms, and I'm just going to put a few of those around the snowman to look like snowballs. I thought that would be a cute touch. So I just kind of group them together here and there. I mean, if you do this, just do you, however many you want to use. Or maybe you don't want to use any at all. I mean, that's up to you. But I glued it to the batting, and I glued it as well to the back onto the scrapbook paper. Okay, now it's time for the bow. And for this bow, I'm going to set it right on the top. So I'm putting some hot glue there. And I'm going to press it down and put it right in between the holes of the hanger. Now I'm doing this just to get an immediate hold here, but I can add tacky glue because there are areas when you turn over that ornament that you can further adhere that bow to that tin piece. Specifically in the back, I go around the back and I press down the ribbons of my bow, and I just give some extra layer of adherence to that ornament. Now you can do this with just hot glue. If you don't put your ornaments in the hot addict, that will be fine. That will hold it fine. Otherwise, you'll want to add some tacky. Now I'm going to be rippling the tails of my bow, going right down the side of that ornament. You see how I do that? And I'm going to be angling my tails. Now you'll see I'm going to do that right now. And then I like to take the tip and turn it upward. That's my little finishing touch. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim the other ones. I don't want them to be encroaching upon my space where my snowman is. I just want those ribbon tails to frame the snowman, not in any way cover him up. So I'm going to make those tails even on both sides. You see how I'm rippling my ribbon, and I kind of turn it up on the tips. I think that's a nice look. And that's pretty much it for this ornament. And I think this just makes a really adorable ornament. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. I love it. So cute. I can't wait to do a Grinch ornament with these tin rounds. I'm just really in love with these tin rounds lately. I'm finding all kinds of things to do with them. They're so much fun. And they're pretty much a standard item at every Dollar Tree I ever go to has them. So I hope you all are able to find them. All right, so number 3, we're going to create a candle holder. Now, you can use a number of things for bases. Each one of these is at the Dollar Tree. They have this one with a little bit of the little nubs on there, and you could place that tin right on top of that. There was the other one that had more of the vertical lines that I just showed you. And then this one, which I'm sure you've seen that one before. That one will work as well. We're going to be spray painting this, so it doesn't matter what color the candle holders are. We're going to use that red Rust-Oleum paint. The color is apple red. It is so pretty for Christmas. Look at the red. That is gorgeous. And look how pretty that turned out. Looks totally different, right? I love it. Now I'm going to be putting a piece of scrapbook paper in the center of that. Now, you do you. You can leave it painted. You could spray clear gloss over the top of it, so we'll have a nice finish. But I'm going to put scrapbook paper in mine. I chose a scrapbook paper from a book of Christmas scrapbook papers. It's a Christmas greenery with some holly berries. Now, the one thing about this as a candle holder is that you have those 2 holes that come in the tin meant for, hanging it. But we're not going to be hanging this one. I am not concerned about the holes because I'm putting greenery all around the perimeter of my piece, which I'm showing you right here. I have a collection of different greeneries. Now, you're not going to be surprised that I mixed about 5 different Christmas greeneries on this piece. I always say, mix your patterns, mix your colors, mix your textures. This is a glass bowl found in candle department at the Dollar Tree. There is a larger one that's 5 inches deep. I don't suggest you use that one. Use the one that's 4 inches deep. And that's the smaller one. They have 2 sizes. Use the smaller one. So I'm going to be Mod Podging that scrapbook paper right to the center of that as I did the others. I have there some little baby pine cones that I got in the autumn department. They also have them at Christmas time at Hobby Lobby, and some little holly berries. Now, I'm not really going to use bows on this piece. Yes, I said it. I'm not using a bow. Oh my goodness. That's a weird thing, right, for me. I want to take a second here and show you about scrapbook papers. If you're new to crafting, Hobby Lobby comes out with books of scrapbook papers for Christmas every year. And these are left over from last year, but I'm just showing you what they look like. They come in different sizes, and on the front of every booklet of scrapbook papers, they show you exactly what's on the inside. But I love to thumb through them anyway to give me like a real idea of what's inside. But this one is just plaids and buffalo checks. It's so pretty. But you'll see they have different types. They have the kind of vintagey patterns. They have plaids. They have some whimsical ones. This one has a combination of things. But I'm just giving you an idea how much fun scrapbook paper can be. And that it comes in these booklets. And during Christmas time, it's going to be 40% off. And you'll have lots of scrapbook papers to create all kinds of fun projects. This one is a really cute one. It has like ho, 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 and a little snowman and stripes and little Christmas trees and ornaments. Really cute. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that in case you're new to crafting, just so you understand when I talk about books of scrapbook paper. Okay, so again, Mod Podge, we're going to put that scrapbook paper on. And this one's a little bit thinner, so I'm going to be using a piece of balled up saran wrap just to smooth that out. I like to do that when I'm using a thinner scrapbook paper or any kind of thin material when you're using Mod Podge, just to smooth out any bubbles or ripples. Now you could put another layer of Mod Podge right on top of this to seal it. And you can see I'm doing that right there with the saran wrap. Now I was thinking, if you don't want to make it a candle holder and you don't want to put the greenery, I was thinking you could use this to put little peppermint candies, any kind of wrapped candy. It could be on your desk, at work, or in your home on the foyer table, or if you had a party, you could put little wrapped candies in there. I don't know, just struck me. I thought that might be a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to take my Gorilla glue here. I absolutely love this glue. It's for everything from glass to metal and on and on and on. It's a wonderful glue. It's clear and it really, really adheres. So I'm going to put it all around the rim of that glass candle holder there. And I'm going to put it in the center by turning my tin upside down so I can get it straight on there. You can use a ruler to measure around. It looks like I needed to adjust a little bit there, and I'm sure I did after I stopped filming. Okay, so now I am going to make mine a candle holder. So what I'm going to do is start with my greenery. Now, I just used a Glade candle on the inside of there, but they have candles at the Dollar Tree. Now, just to get an idea how much area my little glass bowl is going to consume, I just set it on there just to do kind of a trial run. And I was just going to, piece a lot of my different types of greenery around the perimeter of that tin round. So I can see by having the bowl in there that that's going to work very nicely. So I cut all of my greenery. I laid it out, and then I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue just to glue that down after I lay everything out. Now I'm laying it in like a clockwise fashion. It's just kind of like a swirl all the way around the outer edge of that tin round. And this greenery is so pretty. It has all different types of textures and even different shades of green. Has kind of a sage green in one of the pieces of greenery. And then the others are nice green. Some are snow covered. Oh, just so pretty. This makes such a pretty little candle holder. You could use this if you had like a long rectangular table. You could make like several of these, maybe four of them, and line them up down the table. This would look pretty on a foyer table, or anywhere on a kitchen counter. It's just a very, very pretty little piece to decorate for the holidays. So after I decided how much greenery and which pieces I was going to use, I laid everything out. And then I took my glass bowl off and I began gluing that down with my hot glue. Now I am going to be adding some of those little tiny pine cones, as well as some little red holly berries. We're just going to pick up that red color and the candle holder base very nicely. Okay, so I have my greenery on, and it's looking very pretty. So I placed around that piece I think I used 5 little pine cones, and I arranged them, and they're kind of heading the same direction as the greenery on that piece. Everything is going kind of like a clockwise fashion, I guess you could say. So I'm going to obviously glue those pine cones down. Once I have them where I want them. Now this certainly does not look like that tin we started out with from the Dollar Tree, does it? And I'm telling you, this is a very inexpensive project and so pretty. It would really adorn a dinner table very beautifully. You could put these on a buffet table, make like 4 or 5 of them. For the cost, I mean, for such a pretty item, you could really impress with these little candle holders on your table. All right, so now I'm going to add some little red berries, and that really adds that pretty, pretty pop of color. Now I found that the Glade candles fit very nicely in that smaller glass bowl from the Dollar Tree. But you probably could find something in the candle department at the Dollar Tree as well, though. I do need to take the tag off of there, for heaven's sakes. Look at that. I did take it off. I'm just poking it in there to show you. Look how pretty. Now, I do have 2 little bows here. I just wanted to show you. If you wanted to put bows on there, you could. If you wanted something a little bit more fancy, you could put bow on each side, or you could put a bow right at the underside of the tin. Maybe just one off to the left or off to the right. Up to you. But there you go. Project number 3. Very easy to do. And here you have it. all finished, all 3 pieces with the Dollar Tree tin. I hope you love these projects. Let me know which is your favorite in the comments. I love receiving your comments, and I always try to answer every one. If you like what you see on my channel, I hope you will subscribe if you are not currently a subscriber, and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow, and I do so appreciate that. Okay, until next time, you all take care.